they're playing really well. At their place is always a challenge, even in a non-COVID year. They've got the pieces, they've got the formula that has obviously given us problems at times with the big around the basket and several of them, and then athletic long wings that can clog up driving lanes. So, we've gotten a chance now to play against a bunch of teams like that. Hopefully we've learned a few little things that we can do against them. And them playing South Carolina tonight, it's a little bit of a break for us because they were supposed to be off as well. So now they won't be. So hopefully that gives us a little bit of break going into these back-to-back Monday night games.
Paul, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, talk a little bit about Q Morrison. I mean, what a defender, but man, she's turned into a good offensive player this year too, it seems.
Yeah, she takes Gabby Conley off the point a lot, allows Gabby to get down and get some catch and shoot situations. I literally just wrote down on my scouting report, she strips the ball away from you about 3 or 4 times a game. I mean, and good players, not just not taking it from me, taking it from really good players. I think maybe she's part of the difference in their team. In that it does allow Gabby off the ball some. It gives them another lockdown defender. And now you got to guard the kid too. Used to you might be able to double team off of her and not return, as quickly to her. But, I think that speaks to her maturity and the job that Joni and her staff do. Robert and those guys down there, Chelsea Newton and Karen Lang are just such great developers of the game, and they work at it. And Q's a great example of a kid that, has got in there and played a role along the way and evolved her role every single year. And, now's a kid I know that they really count on.
Russell, go ahead.
Chelsea mentioned after the Florida game that their full attention was on Florida because of the loss last year. Do you think, Georgia will get the same treatment?
Absolutely. Yeah. Kids have a short-term memory when it comes to certain things, but they've got the ability to go back and remember how things felt. And they beat us here at our place, and we were on a pretty good roll at that point in time. And we felt completely just like they had just completely taken us out of what we do. And I remember the kids the talk after that, the next couple of practices, they didn't want to feel that way again. So I don't think it'll be hard. We'll make sure that our scout edit is laced with lots of clips from last year. That's a very subtle way. I think they've got it figured out. We do that quite a bit from time to time, but we will subtly remind them if they have forgotten. But I think with that group of leaders, they'll be able to the talk in the pregame stretch line or the warm-ups for practice, the stretch lines for practice, it will be revolved around that. So,
Jacob, go ahead.
Mike, you mentioned after South Carolina that the amount of games you guys have played so far, you started to notice that took a little toll in the game's latter minutes. How has the bye week kind of rested the team up with another busy week of 2 ranked games coming up?
The time is a big part of it, just the simple extra days. The time off. We had pretty much a shooting practice yesterday. We gave them kind of a mental health break too. We've taken a day off in the weight room, which is very rare for us as well. I think we had gotten to that wall obviously faster than anybody in the country because we had played more games. So I told everybody we were there, find a way to get over it, through it, around it. We can't stay behind this wall. I felt like yesterday was a really good bounce back. Our practice was good. It was spirited. We'll go again today. We'll take tomorrow off and then get back to practice Saturday, Sunday. But I do think, as you mentioned, it started to show at times. So I want to make sure that they've got their legs on it. We'll cut practice back. This is the time of the year we start peeling practice back 5-10 minutes a week so that we can be game ready. If we need a kid for 30-35 minutes.
Trey, go ahead.
Coach, I was wondering with the travel situation, the way you're doing it this year, how do you feel it's going traveling on the day of the game as opposed to maybe the day before?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that we're ever going to, I've been reading this Andy Duke book on how to decide and results and stuff and not judging your outcomes. I don't think we'll ever know. probably, whether it was had a good outcome or not. But I do know this. I know that we've stayed healthy. I know that even if we do have a positive around, we're not getting caught in contact tracing. So, I mean, these games might not have ever happened. You know, if we hadn't have been doing them, and that's the optimistic side of me, you know, hoping that we look back on it that way. Do I think it's more difficult? Do I think we're a little bit less prepared? Yeah, probably. And it's harder, you know, it's hard to get, we leave here, you know, for a 6 o'clock game, like the South Carolina game, we met at the airport, we met around 12:30, we ate, and then you're asleep on the plane for 2.5 hours, maybe. And then you get to the gym and we're there 2 hours early. I don't want to go to a hotel because that's just another environment. A little bit of time to kill. You got to get there early enough to feel comfortable to be prepared, but there's a little bit of dead time. I find myself a little bit tired at tip off, so I know they do. And we've had to find a different level of focus, which I think will help us when we get into a tournament format and you are in a hotel and you can do that. So I've thought about the idea of changing it, but it just doesn't seem like the right thing to do when it's been working as far as health goes. Plus, by the way, there's not a whole hell of a lot of teams that win at Tennessee, at Kentucky, and at South Carolina. So I really don't have much to judge it on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we played pretty good those games. So, I mean, it's easy to second guess yourself. I don't think the kids are. I think the kids let it creep in sometimes saying, oh, maybe. But I think us learning to get over it is going to be more valuable than saying, okay, well, let's just go down there and get a hotel. I think it would be stupid of us to do that and then keep playing people like UConn if we lose games. If we're going to do that, then we should have scheduled somebody that didn't have a win this year and just needed the money. So just trying to stay in alignment with everything we do, which means I think we go the day of the game. But to answer your question, do I know if it was the right thing or not? I don't know. I'm not sure we will know.
Seth, go ahead.
Mike, how do you not let Georgia take you out of your system?
Unforced turnovers. You know, if they take it from us, fine, but just uncharacteristic turnovers, uncharacteristic foul trouble, uncharacteristic lack of toughness when they do get up and guard you and might shove you a little bit on your cut, you know, and might hold you when you try to rebound or jump on your back a little bit. I think you got to eliminate all of those factors first and foremost. If you let them affect you that way, then nothing's going to work. So we've got to stop that first and foremost. We've got to eliminate all of our controllables. And then with them, you know, Jenna Stady has just done such a good job for them around the basket. She shoots an incredible percentage. It was like, I looked at it the other day. You know, she's shooting almost 90% as a big kid at the foul line. She's got great touch. We've got to make her score over us, not around us, and from a little bit further out than she wants to. Get back in transition. If you watch the South Carolina game, we started sending 4 people back. That's something we will probably continue to do. It saved us probably 8 to 10 points against South Carolina in transition, and I think it'll be important for us to do that against Georgia as well.
Porter, go ahead.
Coach, you're talking about the motivation of revenging that loss last year against Georgia, but how much extra motivation is it to as well get that road win against an SEC opponent?
The kids understand the impact that the net has on a road win against a top team. You know, Georgia's in the top 20 in the net ranking. They understand the bonus that you get for pulling off a game like that. So I think their desire just to, you know, establish our place in this league. I think the league is as deep as it's been since maybe the late 90s. For those that have been around, you're looking at, I mean, I could make a case for 10 teams to get in the NCAA tournament this year, probably. So I do think our kids understand, you know, it's just another opportunity to get one on the road. And it's the next one. So it's the one you've got to be the most focused on. And I think that's what drives them.